What is up, guys? It is the Sports Sir Bradley Walker, and welcome, guys, to the Walker Report. Happy Thursday to everybody out there. Hopefully, everyone out there is having a good Thursday. The Walker Report is part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. Guys, if you want some In the Zone gear, head on over to squadlocker.com. Type in In the Zone Sports Talk Radio and to present the store for you to get your gear. Guys, the show is sponsored by CreatingZenSpaces.com. It is the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning organization, pet sitting, and decluttering. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And remember, guys, Zen Spaces begins with you. Please be kind to one another, yourself and one another. And, guys, if you want to see this show and my Friday show, the Sunshine State Sports Chapter, please go check out our YouTube channel, the Sports Sir Bradley Walker, where all of the episodes will be on that channel in their entirety. All right, guys, let me go ahead and bring in both of my co-hosts who are on here. Good evening, gentlemen. How we doing?
Good to see you.
I'm not in.
It also looks like this week's episode is sponsored by haircuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It does.
I know. I didn't get a haircut. I just combed my hair.
It looks good. It looks like you got your ears lowered.
No, my hair is too long. I need to go get a haircut. Actually,
I hear you tell you.
Okay.
But how's everything going, gentlemen? How's your week going so far?
We got football. I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have the game on right now. Also, too, I guess they're playing in the Field of Dreams Stadium right now.
Yeah.
Chicago and New York are playing in the Field of Dreams right now, so that's cool.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah. Real quick, guys, before I start my show, and I'll be going into more detail about this tomorrow on the Sunshine State Sports Hour, but I want to extend my thoughts and prayers to the Bowden family. Coach Bobby Bowden passed away over the weekend. A huge icon in college football, even outside of Florida State. There was a lot of coaches that he mentored through the years while at Florida State. So I will be going through a lot of stories. I may end my show with the Noles instead of the Bulls tomorrow because for Bowden and for Coach Bowden and everything else that's going on. So I definitely will talk about that tomorrow in more detail. But I wanted to extend my prayers to the family of Coach Bowden and
Dan Mullen.
Yeah, a bunch of them. Yeah, I heard both Nick Saban
Jimbo
and
Fisher.
Bo Fisher both talk about it.
Mark Richt. Will Muschamp. Dabo Sweeney.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Rich Rod.
Here's the question that I have. How comes we haven't heard anything from
Kirby
Steve
Smart.
Spurrier? I'm just curious. I know those two didn't like each other that much. So
Yeah, maybe it's best to say, best to say nothing at all.
that's a possibility.
Yeah. What's that? How's that old saying go? Better to keep my mouth shut and have everyone think me a fool than open it up and Ruval'd out.
Correct. I agree with that.
Or some things just better left unsaid.
Yeah.
I like that.
I would hope and pray that it would be you leave it all on the field, It's not, that I can hate Ohio State as much as probably more than anybody I know.
Yes.
But when Jim Tressel passes on or Urban Meyer, I'm not going to be out there being an asshole about it.
Right.
As much as I don't want him to win, I don't want him to die.
Right.
And forgive me for not shedding a tear, but I'm not so much of an asshole that I can't be respectful in their moment
Well, I mean, that's me, but I mean, again, I'm a lifetime Gator fan, and
right.
Bowden was our rival, But
but I mean, and the thing about it is that Bobby Bowden, he was an icon of the sport.
Absolutely.
I mean, 30 years from now, people are going to go, people are going to talk about the 90s, and they're going to talk about Florida football in the 90s. There's going to be three names that come up: Jimmy Johnson, Steve Spurrier, and Bobby Bowden.
Yep.
And that was unintentional. It was just how my fingers came up. I apologize for that. And no disrespect to Jimmy Johnson. Man, it was a slip. I apologize. It was a slip. I apologize. Don't hate me, Miami fans. I know there's a couple out there watching, so I apologize. That was unintentional. It just is how it happened. I didn't mean to slight Jimmy Johnson. He's one of my favorite coaches of all time. And so
we could talk about that later on the show.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to. It just happened. It slipped. I'm sorry. I apologize.
There was also another passing this week too in the world of hockey.
Esposito. Yeah.
Okay.
Esposito.
If we're gonna go down the list on memorials, then I'll throw out my favorite motorsports broadcaster of all time passed away over the weekend. Bob Jenkins.
I've heard of that.
A long time play-by-play for ABC during both NASCAR and IndyCar coverage.
Yep, I knew he sounded familiar.
Well, prayer to all those families who have lost.
Yeah, they. And in defense of I know you don't want anybody to die ever.
No.
But Tony was 71. Bob was 77. Had been battling cancer for a while now, and Bobby Bowden was 91. Right. So, in a small, in the slightest little monicum of ability to take solace in something is the fact that they did live long and full and productive lives.
Yes.
So at least their lives weren't cut short tragically. So, we can take a little bit of solace in that.
Correct. Alrighty. Well, I guess
let's move on to something less morbid and morose and talk about the U.S. stomping everyone's ass in the Olympics.
Yes, and we did end with the most gold.
The most golds, the most
total.
Yeah.
Total
We took all four categories: most golds, most silvers, most bronze, and most medals overall.
Yes.
Booyah!
We came. We saw. We kicked his ass.
We conquered. Yeah.
We kicked their ass. That's fine.
Right? Yeah, we did.
That's from Ghostbusters.
That's a logic word on this show.
That's
right.
That's right. That's from Ghostbusters.
Here we go. Let's do this. Let's put this up instead of the logo. Hang on a
Yeah,
second.
let's throw that medal count up there, baby.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this up here behind me, so we'll get this up a little bit here. Let's change it up here and see if this will work. There we go.
There you go. USA! USA! USA!
But yeah, the Olympics are over, guys. Obviously, the United States did win the most gold and the most total medals overall. Any international fans out there, we apologize. We rep our country well.
Right. I apologize for
that's not from the United States that had a country that didn't.
Hey, if your country.
Yeah. So
try hard. Try harder next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I make no apologies for what they want to win just as much as we do, and I don't mean it in a mean-spirited way. It's just fun to win.
Yeah.
They're gonna say winning's a.
I'll say this: they'll get their revenge in the Winter Olympics, because when it comes to Winter Olympics, we got some work to catch up on. We seem to do better in the summer than we do in the winter. In the winter, I don't know what it is, but we're just not. Yeah. We're just not the same.
Well, I think that Europe plays to a colder climate, and so does Canada. And so they do very well in the Winter Olympics.
Well, let's kick their asses in hockey. I like to steal
yeah, let's go.
Is that what kind of a team we're gonna have then? I mean, because we don't know about the.
Yeah, they're gonna play this time.
You think they're gonna play?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because I heard there was no official word if they were gonna have.
I'd heard that they're looking at two different schedules with an Olympic break in February. Yeah, I heard that we're from what I've heard and speculation that I've heard and my own personal speculation. I imagine the NHL will join the Olympics again for the first time since 2016?
2014.
2014. Right. Because they didn't participate in 2018. Now, personally, I hate the Olympic break, and I don't like Olympic hockey. I grew up on NHL hockey. I didn't grow up on international hockey. I like regular hockey, and I like the physicality of the NHL game, and I find international. I don't mean to single out Europe. Again, I'm having myself a night. I'm just gonna be quiet for a while. You guys go ahead and talk.
Well, I was gonna say, obviously Simone Biles obviously is doing very well from what I've read.
Yeah,
back she's
mentally.
okay. Yeah. But one of the gold medals I wanted to talk about, guys, was Diana Taurasi, who won her 5th gold medal. Sue Bird won her 5th gold, and now they're talking about playing in Paris in
2024.
2024. What are you guys?
No, I heard they were done.
Yeah, I heard they were gonna call it quits.
What I heard
maybe they did change their mind. They were talking about maybe going for number 6 for both of them.
Hey, go for it. If you still got the fire and you still can compete at the top level, go for it.
Why are you for
Gives
me?
a shit.
Yeah.
I said people like let's. I got the Washington and New England on right now on the NFL game. That's the game I got on. But Ryan Fitzpatrick's 39. He still got the fire and the competitive juices flow through him.
Yep.
And somebody wants to give him a shot, go for it. Get it. I mean, make them drag you out the field. It's like Barry Bryant used to say. He was right before he passed away. He was giving an interview. I think it was the last interview. And they asked him about life, and they were asking him, did you have your regrets or if you had done anything? He said, no, absolutely not. He's like, play as long as you can, coach as long as you can, and die. And he retired at the end of the 81 season and was gone within a month.
Yeah.
And he called it a career and just died. He played as long as he could, coached as long as he could, and died. I mean, that's dude, man. If that's how you feel, and if you still got the fire and the passion and the ability to go out there and compete at the highest level, go for it.
Well,
don't let them.
Fire is one thing, physicality is another.
Right?
I mean, if you're
make them take you off the damn field. Don't give up your spot for somebody else. Make somebody else earn that damn spot.
Yeah, but when you don't have the strength anymore, then what do you do? I mean, you don't.
Then somebody else is.
Oh, look, Max coming in.
Somebody else has got to come take it away from me. I'm not giving it up. You come take it away from me.
Look at Mac.
Dude looks like an NFL quarterback, doesn't he?
He does look like an NFL quarterback, doesn't he?
Well,
holy shit, man. They're getting excited.
Honestly, I think it's his job.
I think it's going to happen as short as week 3 if he even gets through 2.
Week 2. I don't think Cam's.
I have a funny feeling by the time the Bucs come in week 5, he'll be the starting quarterback.
I don't think it'll even take that long. I think he went to the starting job tonight. Cam Newton looked terrible, in my opinion.
Sorry, Steve. That's my co-host on my show. That's his cousin, so I had to make a apology.
Oh, Cam Newton's his cousin?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, it's a small world after all.
Yeah, it sure is.
no, anything but that.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead, guys, and go through wrestling real quick. I got a couple wrestling topics. I guess AEW. I guess Mark Henry is going to be on commentary.
Wow.
Commentator at AEW. So
terrible.
And again, there are.
I thought that ball skipped in.
There are rumors that CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and Matt Riddle.
Oh my God, he caught that!
Wow.
He did catch that like Julian Edelman did in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that ball skipped in. He caught it. Hell yeah.
Nice catch.
Oh, they're not going to challenge it?
I think
was preseason. Let it go.
I would have challenged. I don't know. I'd have challenged. I want to get that out of the way. You got my first challenge in there.
I will say this: if Punk and Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole and Matt Riddle go to the AEW, there's a power shift, big power shift from
What
the
what about Bray Wyatt?
Him too. Count him in there as well. If all 5 of them end up in AEW,
Can you repeat the last 2 names? Adam what and the other guy?
Adam Cole and Matt Riddle are the other 2.
Okay, I don't recognize those names.
Adam Cole is primarily, I think, out of NXT. He's an NXT.
Okay,
that's what I heard.
Matt Riddle's the same way. Riddle's one of those like low tier, middle.
Okay,
type guys.
Yeah, bottom of the car opener guy to guys.
But he's a good guy, to have to start a show.
Good on the mic.
Yeah. So
he's a jobber.
Right. Grinder type of guy that you like to have.
Yeah, so a guy that's gonna lose more than he lose a lot. Somebody for the stars to beat up on.
Correct.
Yeah, a jobber.
So again, if those rumors are true and they do come true, then the WWE has got some heavy worrying to worry about.
Yeah, they need to start taking this shit seriously.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, then again, with them, they're going the wrong direction from what I read today. That they're trying to kill NXT. I don't get that when that's the most interesting part of your company.
It's the only brand they have going for them.
Because your main roster doesn't have anybody other than John.
Right.
Cena. Other than that, who else? Bobby Lashley.
Roman Reigns.
I mean, I'm an Edge fan, but Edge is not the same wrestler.
Edge is old as shit, though. Yeah. That's the biggest problem. Yeah, I look at so many of these guys. I couldn't name a star under. I can't name outside of the 4 we've mentioned. I don't really know, because Finn Balor didn't light anything up.
He was supposed to wrestle Roman Reigns at SummerSlam.
Is he?
Well, he was supposed to until John Cena
came back.
The whole contract assignment. So,
dang.
Now I guess Lynch might be on her way back, which that'll start the women's division.
Right.
And then again, there's also rumors that The Rock is going to face Roman Reigns in the near future, which I think that's all going to happen because the WWE needs something.
Could you see it becoming a triple threat match at SummerSlam with Rocky?
It's a possibility. I would say either that, Bud, or they'll wait till WrestleMania next year. They can wait.
Maybe they put the belt on Cena and Rocky comes back for one more run at it.
And have Roman Reigns have his rematch clause used at WrestleMania. That's a possibility.
Could be. Yeah, have Cena and Reigns. Have Cena and Rocky at WrestleMania and Reigns cashes in his rematch clause.
Or he wins Money in the Bank or something like
that. He could win Money in the Bank. There's one more pay-per-view in December, isn't there?
Yeah, I think SummerSlam is coming up. That's the next one.
Right, and then Fastlane?
Fastlane, I think might be September.
Is that in October?
Something like that.
No, that was way back in March. I didn't realize Fastlane had already happened.
Yeah, what are the WWE pay-per-views that are? I know SummerSlam's coming up this month.
Right, SummerSlam's the next one. It looks like the SummerSlam's the last one for the year.
Okay.
Because then, we got Payback in later on in this. Okay, so that'll probably be in September. Then we have Clash of Champions in September, Extreme Rules in October, Survivor Series in November, and TLC in December.
Okay.
I can't see Rocky coming back for TLC.
No, I don't know. I don't see.
So probably maybe Night of Champions in
November,
September.
September. Okay.
Or Survivor Series in November if he is coming back.
Gotcha.
November, in the late, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he comes back at all.
Sorry, we're watching my sister's dog.
That's okay. No worries.
It was a good ball though. Put it right on his hands.
Yep. Where he could go get it too.
Yep. It was a great defensive play. Didn't interfere with.
McIntyre made a good defensive play there, sticking his hand right there.
Getting that hand in there at just the right time to break it up without getting a flag.
You're watching Patriots Washington, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Correct.
You got the NFL Network channel on, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, that's where I'm getting it too. I thought maybe it was, you got from some other source or something or another game.
No, sir.
I was wrong.
So I'll jump to boxing. We can talk first about Errol Spence Jr. He suffered an eye injury, so Manny Pacquiao will have a new opponent for.
Damn it!
Now, yeah, he hurt his eye, and
Damn.
New opponent now for Manny Pacquiao.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'm available.
I think that I forget who they have already picked as Pacquiao's the Pac-Man's opponent.
All right, let me look that up real quick.
this is Pac-Man.
Yeah,
I was really looking forward to that fight too.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you reset the mic twice there. He and James are trying to create James White. He's the offset back. He's just scam back on pickups.
dude.
You would have had it anyways. You're looking at 3rd and 7. You would have basically picked up 3 yards there.
Yeah, you're Dennis Ugas.
yeah. I was gonna say it was. They announced it the other day, and I don't know how much. I mean, today is what? Today's the 11th, the 12th. So he's got what 8 days before the fight. How much training?
Yeah.
Is he gonna, what kind of shape is he going to be in?
Oh, he's gonna be in pitiful shape.
I was going to say,
And
ready?
depends on what kind of shape. Depends on whether he stayed in shape or not.
Yeah.
If he stayed after it, just in case, I don't know.
The other thing, guys, I saw was off of Yahoo.com and how the WBA is boxing and its fans due to racial tweets, controversial scorecards,
Right.
stuff like that. I have to say that boxing is not obvious. We all know it's not the same as it was during the Ali.
No kidding.
And then, moving on,
Yeah,
it hasn't been the same since
the 90s.
Since the 90s.
Even the 80s, for that matter.
And now, now UFC is probably the most popular
Combat sport
in the world. I wouldn't say just in the United States, in the world.
Yeah.
Because I know more people would rather watch, UFC than a boxing match.
Yeah.
Unless
I
it's
watch boxing.
Unless it's the Paul brothers, which,
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
That's not really that they're as much as I hate to say because I think they're both good boxers, they're a sideshow.
Yeah.
Yep. That's boxing doesn't need that. They don't need a sideshow.
No.
You want that? Join the circus.
Right.
Yeah, because look at the whole thing with Fury and Wilder and Fury and Joshua.
Yeah.
That's going to be the end of the year before we see those fights. So.
Yeah, because of the COVID thing.
COVID, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have to agree that it is failing. And again, the issue is, again, just like with anything else, when you are scaring your fans away, it's not good.
Well, and not having a lot of big fights on regular TV hurts too.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, how do you promote a fight? How do you promote fighters when I can't watch them? When when normal people, when most people can't watch them, you know, I understand pay-per-view, I get it, but I mean, how can you say, Errol Spence Jr. and Manny Pacquiao is probably the fight of the year,
maybe of the decade.
Yeah, and that fight was going to be pay-per-view. I mean, it's like I'm not going to pay for it. I'll watch it on YouTube on the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not paying for it. I'll watch highlights of it on SportsCenter. I'll go to
streaming site.
I'll go to a bar and watch it at the bar. But I'm gonna pay them, not the pay-per-view people.
Yeah. Get an appetizer or a beer, or have a couple beers and sit there and drink and talk and interact with all the other boxing fans that are there to watch the same thing.
Right, but I'm not paying. If I go to Buffalo Wild Wings, for want of an example, I'm gonna pay them $30 for a couple of beers and some wings, and the boxers aren't gonna see a dime of that money.
Nope.
And I mean, what's the difference between So they get one buy from Buffalo Wild Wings, and that's it.
Yeah.
Even if it's $600,
Yeah.
you make maybe $1 million. I don't know how many locations, but let's say they have 3,000 locations. They all get one buy at $600.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's $180,000 if I did the math right off the top of my head.
Something like that.
You don't have the same. It's not like it was in the 60s and 70s where if you wanted to watch the fight, you had to buy it.
Yep.
It doesn't do them any good, especially not having it behind a paywall. Such a massive steep paywall.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's available on for a pre-order yet on my TV here.
Again, streaming.
I just wanted to look at the let's see. SummerSlam is available for a pre-order.
When is SummerSlam, buddy? Is that next
yeah, next Saturday.
Next Saturday, okay.
Yeah. I think it may be it's both days. Well, no. Here's the Pacquiao Ugas fight, and it's not available for pre-order, so I can't tell you how much it's gonna be.
I would guess, if anything, but it's going to be probably $50 to $75. I'd imagine.
Yeah, I was thinking 88, 89 because that was what the last big fight that I went and saw was like $89, and I'm just not going to be able to afford that.
Yeah.
No,
because think about that, but like you just said, you can go to Buffalo Wild Wings and spend $50 less and have beers and wings and sit there and watch there.
I can order a pitcher of Miller Lite for like what, $10?
Yeah.
And drink all night.
Yep. So I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And like I said, if Buffalo Wild Wings Corporation pays the corporate rate for at $600 is what I heard with the last fight I went to, was what I heard so I went to the cigar bar, and that's what they wanted to. If they wanted to buy it for that's a sack. If they wanted to buy it through the corporate line, so they just went on the computer and bought it as a private seller and put it on the big screen. Yeah.
Or a private individual. It was like $89. And I spent $100 in the bar that night, but I got 5 cigars, 3 or 4 beers, and hung out and spent the whole night there.
Yeah.
As opposed to that being the only thing that I get is the fight.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, to me,
and there's no merchandising either.
To me, buddy, it seems more the better way that you did it the way you did. Going out like that and do it, because again, too, you could bump into somebody else, you spark up a conversation.
Yeah, just hanging out. It's a much better time hanging out than just hanging out and watching the fight than just buying it and sitting here at the house watching the fight.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I was able to talk a lot of trash, and of course my guy won, so that made it even better. And but and compared, think about, if you buy the fight, like I ended up spending $100. I bought pizzas for everybody. I bought cigars and beer, and we all brought drinks, and so we were having drinks and smoking cigars and eating pizza. And so it was so much more fun than just sitting here at the house watching it, or even and it's like I didn't have to beg my buddies who don't give a damn about boxing to come over.
Yeah.
Right.
Who are bored stiff watching me trying to entertain them while there's 4 hours of preliminaries going on before the main event.
Right.
Who don't give a damn about boxing. Where I get to go to, where as opposed to going to a bar, like the cigar lounge that I went to, because that's where that was who bought the fight. That was the last event that I went to before the world ended.
Well, I hate, not to interrupt you, but I hate it when you have people that you're trying to entertain that do not like the sport that you're watching.
Right.
It does seem a
Happens to
problem.
me a lot. I went. Put it to you this way, guys. I went to the Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals at Amalie Arena to watch the Lightning possibly sweep Montreal.
Right.
I went with a group of like 8 people, and I would say out of the 8, there were maybe 5 of us that actually gave a shit about hockey. The others
Right.
didn't give a shit. So,
Right.
I mean, it's hard when you don't have a lot of people. Now, come Wednesday night, Game 5, I was at a house with everybody in the house was a Lightning fan. So
Right. It's a lot more fun.
You don't have to entertain people
Who couldn't give a shit less?
exactly.
Why would you?
And trust me, it probably wear it on you as much as it wears on me. It's like, dude, I'd rather be with people that actually give a shit
Right.
about what's good I'm watching than being on your phone or having a private conversation with somebody else. Do
Right.
that. Don't come here and waste your time and your money for what? You know?
To annoy the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like when I went to the Sky Bar for the Super Bowl the year before, there were 2 women in there that just wanted to talk about their personal problems.
Yeah.
And it was really distracting and really annoying because they wouldn't stop talking about whatever they had going on. And finally they got up and went to the back room and started. I was like, once they left and went in the back room, and it was just us guys in the front room that actually were there to watch the game, the atmosphere in the room finally changed when they left and they were off talking by themselves.
Yeah. No, it's
And so it was a much more like when I first got there before, it was a kind of a party. Then the game came on and it got serious, and they came in about halfway through the second quarter and started talking and didn't leave until halfway through the third quarter. And it was really, really annoying and distracting.
Yeah. If you're not going to get people who don't want to be there, why
bother coming out?
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, I mean, I would do the same thing, but for the next boxing match, I do the same thing. I just do.
Yeah, go somewhere where I can hang out with people that actually care. And as opposed to trying to invite my friends over who don't care about what I've got on.
Right. Well, there is some soccer news, as we all know. Lionel Messi has left Barcelona. He is going to sign. He signed a 2-year contract with, what is the name of the organization?
Somewhere in France.
Paris. Yeah, Paris.
PSG.
PSG. Okay. So he signed
Not
a
even
2-year.
PSG.
No, right.
He actually was pretty upset in his interview. Paris Saint-Germain, I think is how you pronounce that.
Yes, Jimmy.
He had tears. Obviously, he is remarkably probably the best player for Barcelona ever. I think you could pretty much put that stamp on him.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that was huge news across not only the soccer world, but I think the sports world in general. When a guy like that leaves a team that he's been with for so long.
Right.
Adored him.
And adored him. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
That's definitely let's see how he does. I mean, again, I will be talking about that because I guess from what I heard, there was a chance he was going to sign with Inter Miami. So I don't know if that's still. That's again, Lewis. That's what I heard, and I'm going to talk about that tomorrow night on the Jabber. But I mean it. I'm going to talk about that because there was one of the articles that came up that was in the rumor mill. So obviously,
before you sign with PSG, I mean, doesn't that kill it with Miami?
I would think so. I would think it does kill that idea, but who knows? I don't know how that all works and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how the soccer world works.
I mean, that would have been great. Him coming to MLS and give the MLS, a real boost.
Shot in the arm.
Yeah. Just like it did for Beckham. Of course, we all can't bet him like Beckham, but still, I mean, it would. Never mind. Oh. Why are you stopping?
Well, speaking of,
I got nothing.
Speaking of the MLS, I'll give you guys the power rankings, and Lewis knows more about this than any of us do.
I know.
The number one, obviously, is still the Revolution. I don't think that's changed. Sporting Kansas City.
Oh,
That was almost a catch.
yeah, it was.
Minnesota's 3. Seattle's 4. New York City FC is 5. Nashville is
Yeah.
6. Colorado
Oh, wow.
7. Orlando City's 8. I cover them on my other show. Philadelphia Union is 9. The Galaxy are 10. DC United is 11. Columbus is 12. Dallas is 13. LAFC, the other LA team, is 14. Portland is 15. Real Salt Lake. CF Montreal is 17. San Jose is 18. Vancouver is 19. New York Red Bulls are 20. Houston Dynamo are 21. Atlanta FC is 22. Chicago Fire. Inter Miami is not dead last. They're 24. Austin FC. FC Cincinnati. Toronto FC is the lowest. So they're back in the low part of the power rankings last. It's Toronto, which they were down there, I think, before. So
yeah, they were.
So that's the interesting part. But that is the MLS, power rankings as the season. How many more weeks left in the season, Lewis? Are they almost?
They're about halfway. They're about halfway through. They go to like October.
Oh, okay, so they're about halfway through the season. Okay.
Yeah, the playoffs, but the playoffs, it's kind of like a weird playoff system, though. It's not like in baseball where they go like they play 2 games, they take up one night and one night. They have a little bit more discombobulated.
Okay. I'll keep track of the MLS.
Yeah, but the regular season, I believe, does end in October.
Okay.
This year.
Right. I have some golf news in both the PGA Tour and the LPGA Tour. The PGA is going to change the World Golf Ranking System in 2022. They're going to make some adjustments to the system, and the adjustments are as follows. Strokes gained world ranking, a number of based off a worldwide stroke play score across 2-year period. It will have weighted emphasis on a player's most recent score. Performance points is correlates directly to strokes gained world ranking and determines how much world ranking value a player brings to an event. Then the field rating is the sum of performance points for an event entire field of players. It will determine how many points are distributed to players at the conclusion of the event. So as of right now, John Rahm is currently number 1 with Dustin Johnson, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, and Justin Thomas rounding out the top 5 in the world. So really, guys, if you think about it, there are 5 Americans and 1 Spaniard at the top in the top 5. So the one that's on top is the Spaniard. The other 4 are Americans. So that's interesting. As the Ryder Cup is next month. So that will be interesting. I bet you all 5 of those guys will be playing. The 4 will be playing for Team USA, and then Spain will John will be playing for Team Europe in the Ryder Cup next month. So let me bring up this because I didn't realize it was the LPGA, and I have their logo here. So hang on, bear with me just a second here. Put them up here. It's right there. Let's see real quick. So there's the LPGA. If people out there do not know that, it stands for the Ladies PGA Professional Golf Association.
Yes.
For people that don't know that logo or don't know what the initials stand for, they are starting. They're going to basically anchor for their future Open, starting with Oakmont. They're going to have the U.S. Open there in, it looks like 2030. I don't know, maybe that's where the PGA Tour will have it, but they're going to have the U.S. Women's Opens will be at Marion in 2034 and 2046. So again, they're going to basically base everything off of Oakmont and Marion. Name is anchor sites for future U.S. Opens for the LPGA Tour and the PGA Tour. And also thinking back to LPGA golf, Nelly Korda took the gold medal home for Team USA in the Olympics.
Yeah.
in women's golf. So there you go with that. So one of those gold medals that the United States took home in the Olympics, at least for golf purposes. That's kind of strange that the United States would win a gold in golf because there's a lot of good golfers, especially on the LPGA Tour side.
Yeah.
Not from America. Usually they're yeah. We could talk a little NASCAR. I have some things I wanted to ask about NASCAR. It says that Chase Elliott will start at the rear at Watkins Glen after inspection failures. Did you hear about that? Is that true?
That was last Sunday's race, yeah.
Okay. It looks like that Kurt Busch could be moving to a new ride. Again, there's a rumor going on. This is
he's going to get the second. The rumor is that he's getting the second ride at 2311 Racing.
Correct.
Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin.
Oh yeah.
That's what I heard. Yep.
Yeah, that's the spike with Ross Chastain getting the second ride at Trackhouse now. Yeah, all bets are that Busch goes to the second ride at Trackhouse next year for at least 1 year.
And it says that Brad Keselowski is confirming that he is set to move to Penske.
Yep, that's official.
Yeah.
And he's going to get the
Roush Fenway, right? Is that where he's going?
Yep. Roush Fenway, Keselowski Racing. The name change, they're expecting the name change sometime in December or January of next year.
Okay. Well, how did Chase Elliott finish starting at the rear?
Run second.
Second? Okay. So he came all the way back.
Yeah, and should have, if he hadn't flat spotted his tires halfway through the last run, he would have caught Larson.
So
he was with 20 to go. He was 10 seconds behind. He finished He finished a second and a half behind.
Right.
He made up 9.5 seconds. In 20 laps at a road course.
So it looks like, from what I'm reading, that fans' attendance and demographics are up for NASCAR so far this year.
Compared to last year? Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Sure.
When they had no fans last year?
They have 13 remaining races.
Before the playoffs.
We go
to the Indianapolis road course for the first time this week.
Right.
So they'll be practicing qualifying. And then we go to Michigan for the race, the penultimate race, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to Daytona to close it out.
Yeah. So that is good news for NASCAR that there are people going, despite COVID numbers going up in certain states.
Mm.
But that is that. So those are the kind of things, Bud, that I had as far as NASCAR wins. The fans were coming.
Yeah, there wasn't any big news that I had heard over the week.
Yeah.
Just a new venue, or it's an old venue, but it's a new configuration, running on the road course for the first time.
Correct.
So I'm interested to see what it looks like. I gotta say, even money on Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson this week. Other than that, it's a toss up between them in the field.
Okay.
And I'll take Larson and Elliott over the field.
So would I.
Larson won last week at Watkins Glen, right?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
And his second road course win of the year.
Not really, guys. I found this earlier today. It's not really NASCAR related. This is more of sports in general. Did you guys hear the rift between Skip Bayless and Jenny Taft on their show?
I heard him.
Yes.
I heard they had an argument. I haven't had a chance to check it out.
I wish I could play the clip. I don't
right
without being copyright striked.
Probably not.
My ridiculous side of the week is here.
I mean, I could try it and see. I mean, all I could do is cut it, but I could put it up there if you guys want to hear it. It's very short. It's not very long.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get it up here. And
Okay.
I'll take.
We can talk over it.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I wonder if I can play.
What we'll do is put it up, and we'll put the disclaimer about how it's fair use. You know, this clip is used under fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976, and all that good stuff. So that's why we're not infringing. This is the purpose of commentary, parody, and a handful of other things.
Yeah, hang on.
We are fair. This is fair use. We are allowed to commentate on this. Do not strike us.
Let me see exactly.
Can you speed? Are you using the YouTube link?
I am.
Okay, before you hit play, change the speed on it to 1.25.
Okay.
Do you know how to do that?
I do not. But can you show me? I mean, can you tell me how to do it?
Yeah. Okay, so hold on. Let me pull up a YouTube clip here. Yep. And then there should be 3. Because I haven't done it from. I haven't done it from the computer in a long.
Let me share the screen real quick, guys.
Yeah. And yeah. And then when you share a screen, because that's one way to get around the copyright.
Right.
It should be under the thing that looks like a settings, the little settings icon there.
Right here.
Yeah, that right there.
Okay.
Click on that.
It says playback
speed. Yep.
Hang on. All right.
Yep.
Find it there. Playback speed normal. Okay, click on that.
Yep. And then the
125.
Yep.
All right.
And that should help.
Okay. All right.
We will try that. And then can we fast forward to where they start?
Yeah, hang on a minute. Let's see. Okay, it's right here. I want to get past this guy talking. All right. So here we go. Let's see if he.
I don't think that's a fair shot.
Is everyone who's a good coach as fit as you,
Mm.
Skip?
Mm.
I don't think that's a fair shot whatsoever.
I wouldn't want. I said it was a personal preference.
I've
I
actually
wouldn't want him to be my head coach.
that have not had the perfect ideal physique, including my college coach. So I don't think that's a fair shot.
Okay.
And I don't
Is he taking a shot at? Can you pause it?
As you do too. Will join us.
Yes, go ahead.
Was he talking about Andy Reid?
I believe
Was he taking shots at Andy Reid for being fat?
Mike McCarthy.
Oh.
This is about this was about the Dallas Cowboys being on Hard Knocks.
Oh, okay.
But he said that Mike McCarthy, I think, was out of shape for not showed his personality in Hard Knocks. So I don't know what exactly was said, but obviously he said something. She took it out of context.
She took offense to it.
Yeah,
I would have.
Yeah.
Back it up and let's see if we got the whole.
Let's see, let me rewind it back real quick to
where they come up.
Yeah, this is not.
Well, I don't think that's a fair shot.
Is everyone who's a good coach as fit as you, Skip? I don't think that's a fair shot.
Can you go back a little bit more?
Personal preference. I wouldn't want him to be my head coach.
I can. Let's see. Again, this is not my video. This is
that right there. Let's.
Let me just say that the channel, guys, is LTTV. This is their video. This is not my video. I don't have any.
Right, and it's.
Yeah, this is. This is
it should be yes
only. We're not.
Yep.
We're reacting to it. We're not using it as any monetary value or taking away from this young man's channel either, because he's got 2.56 thousand subscribers. So he's got,
he's got a couple more than us, doesn't he?
Yeah, we only have 3. So there you go. There we go. All right.
Well, I don't think that's a fair shot.
Is everyone who's a good coach as fit as you, Skip? I don't think that's a fair shot whatsoever.
I wouldn't want. I said it was a personal preference. I wouldn't want him to be my head coach.
That have not had the perfect ideal physique, including my college coach. So I don't think that's a fair shot.
Okay.
And I'm allowed to have an opinion. Skip. I am allowed to say whatever I want to say on this show, as you do too. We'll join us and react to Westbrook's comment, and maybe I have more to say next.
Yes. Jeez. Okay, so I started this app.
So there is the whole video in general right there. I think beyond that, I don't think they came back. I don't know what happened after they came back from break, but it sounds like to me that she was not too happy about what he said about Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, so this is from another channel. As Skip Bayless, Cowboys will have to win in spite of Mike McCarthy. Not really sure what the hell that's supposed to mean, but yeah, I've never liked Skip Bayless, so
Neither have I.
I find that he's a dickhole, and so I think that, I mean, if Skip Bayless knew half the hell of what he was talking about, he'd have his own coaching job.
Yeah.
You know, it's very easy. It was something I heard Bill Cowher talking about years ago, right after he got out of coaching, and they were asking if he thought about kicking, if he had ever thought about entertaining the idea of coming back. And he's like, no, never. I'm not coming back. He had got that gig. He had just gotten that gig with CBS. And he's like, I get paid. I get to watch as much football as I want. I get to be around the game that I love. I get to participate in this stuff, and then go home.
Yeah,
I'm done. I get to watch as much football as I want, and I get to say I get to talk all the crap I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be. And I very much feel like Skip Bayless wouldn't know whether shit or go blind if they gave him a clipboard and said, go run the Cowboys offense.
You wouldn't know what to do.
You go run the Cowboys offense.
Yeah.
And that's not a defense of Mike McCarthy. It's more me taking shots at Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Mike McCarthy's a great head coach. I don't think he's a bad head coach. I don't think he's a great head coach.
No.
I mean, he did win a Super Bowl, but I think he's a very average head coach. He'll win a handful of more games than he loses. I'm going to make a couple of playoff runs and win a Super Bowl every now and again.
Correct.
I think he's one of those coaches where if everything's right, he's not lighting the world on fire. He's not bringing anything new to the table. But if everything aligns, if the stars align and he has a tuna sandwich on Tuesday at 3:24 p.m. In October, and his horoscope is in retrograde and Mars is in Jupiter, and whatnot,
Or Saturn.
He can win. Oh, sorry, it was Saturn. My mistake. He can win you a Super Bowl, but he's not gonna. No one's gonna go. Well, he's up there with the Belichicks and the Lombardis of the NFL.
Right.
I think he's one of those. He's a good coach, kind of a Barry Switzer type. He's a good coach.
Yes.
He's not great. He's not the worst coach of all time, unlike Bill Callahan.
Yeah. Well,
I said what I said.
There's not too much news in hockey, other than obviously we talked earlier about Tony Esposito's passing early in the show. I didn't know either that when Phil bought Lightning, that Tony was the kind of like the face that went out and did all the press stuff, which I didn't know that, so I heard that on the radio the other night. So
I believe today was the anniversary of the Gretzky trade.
Was it okay?
I think that's what I saw in one of my groups earlier.
Yep.
From the Oilers to the Kings.
To the Kings, yes. I think it was April 12th, 1988. Or August, whatever month we're in.
And all Canada shot itself. All Canada was in mourning that day. Oof.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So it was a couple of days ago.
Okay.
August 9th, 1988.
But I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
When he
Jelena was part. I didn't realize Jelena was part of that trade.
Yep.
Matanda Jelena.
And all Canada was just like a mourning for like a week.
A week? I don't think Canada's gotten over it.
Maybe you're right.
I mean, I know.
A cup in 1990, but I guess not.
I know the Flames won a cup in '89, and Edmonton won a cup in '90, and Montreal won in '93. But I mean, that's like trading away your. I mean, he was a favored son, and he never came home. he didn't go back to Edmonton to close out his career. He didn't go to Toronto or Montreal to close out his career. He went to New York. I mean, he goes from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, a small market team, to LA, the biggest market in the world. And then when he's done in LA, he goes to New York City. And then St. Louis. No, actually, I did that backwards. He goes to St. Louis and then New York.
New York, the Rangers, yeah.
I always forget about him in
New York.
Yeah, no, in St. Louis.
Yeah, we kind of forgot that too.
I'm sure he wants to forget about that too.
Yes.
The other thing I had, guys, is Hall of Famer broadcaster Mike Lange of the Pittsburgh Penguins is retiring from play-by-play duties. This is the Athletic.
Is he the play-by-play guy for the Pens then?
Yeah, there'll be a new one. There'll be a new broadcaster.
Is he retiring effective immediately or after the season?
Let me see what the article said in general.
Well,
Let's see here. Let's see exactly what it says here. Play-by-play duties. They'll announce it on Monday. Lange will continue to make radio appearances, according to his statement.
Okay.
He spent 46 years broadcasting for the Pens. Missed most of last season due to abundance of caution during the pandemic while awaiting the COVID-19 vaccine. He called two home games at the end of the regular season, as well as games 1 and 5 of the Pittsburgh Penguins series against the Islanders. He's 73 years old. So
he's been doing it for a minute, hasn't he?
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah, right.
To the fans, what a trip we've had together. So many contributing to the broadcast, listening night after night. Always made me smile like a butcher's dog. That was what his quote was.
It's a good quote. I'll try and remember that.
Mike is a broadcasting legend, not only in Pittsburgh, but in all of sports. His name sounds familiar. I don't know where I know him from. I guess I'd have to listen to his voice. But that sounds vaguely familiar. So, again, I guess Pittsburgh will have a new play-by-play guy. As the good ones, when the good ones hang it up and retire, you have to have someone come in and start fresh with everything else. So, but yep, that's not like I said, not too much NHL news. I know as we get closer to October, we'll start talking about the season coming up and all that stuff with that. I guess there was big news in basketball today. Kawhi signed a 4-year extension with the Clippers, from what I read earlier today.
Okay, I had not heard that.
Yeah, he had signed today. Luka signed a big 5-year, $207 million contract extension with the Mavericks earlier in the week. So that's cool. Let me give you guys 15 players to watch during the summer league.
I've been watching a little bit of that.
I would imagine most of these players are rookies.
Rookies are second-year guys.
The first one is Cole Anthony, who plays for the Orlando Magic. You have Scotty Barnes, who plays for Toronto.
Okay.
You have James Winkenight, if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Unite, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He plays for Charlotte. Cade Cunningham, I think, is the big guy, or the biggest one to watch for the Pistons.
I watched a little bit of him the other night. He looks like he's going to be a good one.
Alalu Dasamu for the Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
Starte, who plays for Indiana. Josh Giddey, who plays for Oklahoma City.
Tess, can you spell that last name?
Which one?
Oh, wait, never mind. Sorry, I think of a different guy.
Jalen Green, that's another one of those names I've heard for the Houston Rockets. Jalen Johnson for the Atlanta Hawks.
Yep.
Corey Kispert of the Wizards. He's out of Gonzaga. Jonathan Kuminga of the Warriors, Golden State.
Okay.
Evan Mobley for Cleveland.
Yep. Betty was mentioning him.
They benched him? Is that what you said?
No, Betty was mentioning him.
Okay.
She wrote
Jalen Suggs, who also plays for Orlando. Jason Preston of the LA Clippers.
Yes,
Emmanuel Quigley of the Knicks. He must be a second-year guy.
he is.
And the others to watch would be Giannis's brother, Alex Antetokounmpo, who plays for the Kings now. LiAngelo Ball for the Hornets, Michael Beasley, Kevin Faird, Brandon Knight, Devin Mitchell. I'm sorry, not Devin Mitchell. Excuse me, Davian Mitchell. I apologize. I heard that name incorrectly. Isaiah Todd, Ubi Toblin, Patrick Williams, and Omar Yurtseven are some of the other guys to watch, but those were the 15 players. So I've watched a little bit of Summer League basketball. I'll admit I'm not really a big NBA guy, but I have been watching occasionally popping in what's going on in the NBA.
Yes.
Orlando's in trouble.
Oh yeah, they're in a rebuild.
They're gonna. It's gonna be a long rebuild if this holds up. They're getting thumped by the Boston G Squad. So
right now,
their G Squad, their G Squad's getting thumped by Boston's G Squad. It's 70-41 with a minute and a half to go in the third quarter.
70-41.
70-41.
That's over.
One would think.
And we have another Ball brother making his way to the
good God.
Yeah.
The Triple Bs will be in the NBA soon. You can say it right now.
Forgive me for not leaping for joy. Bad back, you know.
Exactly.
Uncle Scar, when you die, what will that make me? Hey, Uncle Scar, when I become king, what will that make me? What will that make you? A monkey's uncle. I got it right the third time.
Yeah, so
I don't know how y'all feel, but I agree with Troy Aikman here. He tweeted out earlier. I know it's only preseason, but it just feels good to be watching football again.
Yes,
I agree with that.
I'm so glad there's only 3 preseason games this year. Let's get it over and get it out of the way and get back to real football, man. Damn. Can't wait.
I have one of my editors applying for credentials for me this Monday coming up for USF. So
sweet. I hope you get them, man.
We'll hear in the next, I'm guessing,
couple weeks,
week or two. Yeah, before I'll hear back of what's going on with that.
Because they open on the road at NC State, right?
Correct. They open on the road.
And that's September 4th?
September 2nd.
Second, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the Wednesday game.
Second or third. It's something like that. Hang on.
It's got to be a...
Let me look that up real quick. Let me see here real quick. I want to see. I want to say it's either a Thursday or a Friday night game.
It's second. September 2nd at 7:30.
Okay.
Whatever the second is. Is that a Thursday?
Wednesday.
Second is a Thursday.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Thursday. Yeah, it's a Thursday night game. Yeah.
And then they're off then they have 9 days off and then pick it up again against
the Gators.
Florida.
On September.
Gators.
Which will be the 20th anniversary of 9/11. I cannot fathom that it's been 20 years since that horrific historic event. Or horrific.
I know, right?
And, so.
Yeah.
But here we are, guys. We're winding down the MLB season. So the season is in the last month and a half.
Yeah.
The season. Did you guys hear about this whole fan in Colorado shouting at the mascot and the player thought?
I heard about that, and they said it was racist, and he said he was just trying to get the mascot's attention. I hadn't heard any more about it.
Well, I haven't seen the video. I don't know what's going on with if it was the N-word was used. I don't know. I'm not repeating that word on here anyway. I don't or anyway, but I'm wondering if it did happen that way. I don't know. But I thought that was interesting. I mean, it was a big headline over the weekend about did it happen? Did it not happen? The fan said that he was not yelling the N-word. He was yelling at the mascot for his kid. So, but the player says he continues to hear the N-word when the video is played back. I haven't heard the video, so I can't.
Okay, so this is an article from the AP on a couple days ago, August 9th. The Marlins outfielder claimed, I think he's an outfielder, Lewis Brexton claimed that he heard Okay, I'm just gonna read it. So the player thought he said the N-word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the player reviewed the tape and said he had a different opinion. So I watched the video at least 50 times in the last 15 or 16 hours. Brinston said on a video conference before Monday night's game at San Diego. I watched it a lot, especially when I heard that he said dinger instead of the N-word. Yeah, this is again my personal opinion. I personally keep hearing the N-word. It's not that I want to hear it. I never want to hear it personally. I've never been called that in person to my face on the baseball field. I was on the baseball field ever, so I don't know what my reaction would be if I got called. He said it, but to now say that again, I haven't talked to the Rockies or the fans personally. If that's the case, then I am sorry for any backlash or anything he's getting right now. He said, The Rockies said Monday the fan who was not identified was actually hollering at the club's purple polka dot dinosaur mascot. After a thorough investigation that included calls, emails, and video clips from concerned fans, media, and broadcast partners, the Colorado Rockies have concluded that the fan was indeed yelling for the Rockies mascot in hopes of getting his attention for a photo, and there was never any racial slur that occurred, the team said in a statement.
Okay. All right, so then it was all cleared up. Okay,
again, it goes back to what we were talking about a couple months ago when there was a brawl at the Suns game. It was the conference finals against whoever they played in the conference finals now. The Clippers.
Clippers, yeah.
And, again, it goes back to what I was saying. Like, I have a 4-year-old little girl. She'll be 4 in October.
Yeah.
It's not an atmosphere I can take my child into. If you're going to be using that kind of language, I'm not taking my, come on, guys. It's just a game. Now, obviously, in my opinion, I much prefer to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I am going to say, and I'm going to go with the fact that, if everyone did their, they looked at it and they talked about it and they believed that he was trying to attract the attention of the mascot whose name is Dinger, I'm gonna allow that to be what he said. But again, I think that, I don't want to take my little girl into an environment where people are using that kind of language.
No, I wouldn't either.
Saying that kind of, all the other words, okay, whatever. There's just, but any kind of racial slurs, it's beyond the pale. I don't care if, she hears the F word or shit, goddamn, whatever.
Crap.
That stuff. Again, with the negative waves, Moriarty. I can sit down and explain to her that those are adult words. Those are grown-up words.
Right.
And, it's a grown-up environment. But, and when she's a grown-up, she can say those things too. And,
yeah.
But there's no place for any kind of racial hatred in sports.
Or in life.
Yeah. And there, I don't want her exposed to that.
No.
The other words I can sit down and explain to her and be, look her in the eye and say, you can't say those words. I'm sorry. I know the grown-ups around you say them all the time, and I'm just as guilty as anyone of using that kind of language. But so I'm not gonna be like, this is an adult environment for adults. and they're going to use profanity. That's okay. I have no problem with that. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you can't say that in front of a child. I don't care, because I can have a conversation with my little girl. I know she's only 3, but she's a smart kid, and I can, I can take her aside and say, you can't say that kind of stuff at school. You can't, at least you can't when the teachers are looking,
Yeah. No brave points here.
Right. And so it's just, and in all honesty, I'm just glad that it wasn't a thing. It was not, much ado about nothing, as they would say.
Right.
Good movie.
Well, as we speak, guys, again, the Yankees and White Sox are playing in Iowa at the famous Field of Dreams field. I checked this.
You might want to look away, Lou.
I know. I saw it 7-3 right now.
Yeah.
At the end of the 5th inning. And it looks like Abreu already hit a home run into the corn.
So did Judge.
So that's cool that they've been able to do that.
Judge hit an absolute bomb to deep right field. It was mad. I had just happened to kick it back on when the football game was at commercial, and he got a hold of one.
How cool! I mean, how cool is that? They get it. I mean, they were supposed to play there last year,
right?
Canceled it, but it's kind of cool that they decided to go back and play a game. There. In the Field of Dreams field. So that's cool how they did that. So again, it is White Sox are currently in the lead.
Yeah, they build a field. The field they're playing on is not the field they used for the movie. They're playing on a field that they created to replicate the movie field. The Little League World Series however, is being played on the Field of Dreams field.
That started, right?
Kicked off this afternoon.
Yeah. Well, for you, like I said, we can follow that too. We can follow that leading up to the final. They play in, where do they play? Omaha? Is that where they play?
Williamsport. Yeah.
Sorry,
college baseball is in Omaha.
I got Peyton Manning's retirement speech in my head.
Omaha.
I guess Vlad Guerrero Jr. was wearing cleats to honor Kobe and Gianna Grant. Let me see if I can bring that photo up. I'll share it with you guys. Let me see this real quick. Okay. It's from Bleacher Report, so let me see if they have a photo, and we'll see.
I'm going to check something on that. Fine.
4 games against the Angels. He's always been a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
The article, he's always been a Lakers fan.
Because I'm not sure when Vlad Sr. moved to LA.
There they are, right there.
Anaheim. When he got, did he get traded to Anaheim or did he sign in Anaheim?
I think they drafted him.
I thought he was drafted by Montreal.
Our junior or senior?
Senior.
Oh, senior. Yeah, I think senior did play in Montreal. Correct.
Those are cool.
Yeah, those are the shoes right there.
I wonder if they're gonna auction them off.
No.
Let me make the thing bigger so you guys can see a little bit easier. I'm gonna assume, buddy, they will. I'm gonna assume that
those are really cool.
End up auctioning those shoes off. There we go. Okay, I'm on Twitter here. There they are, right there. Those are pretty cool, I have to admit, and
those are dope.
They're purple. Yeah, that's pretty cool that they are.
Yeah, those are dope.
So I thought that was pretty cool that was a story that was kind of cool, kind of off the little bit different than the normal MLB stuff that we talk about. Another kind of cool thing that happened over the weekend. Did you see the ball girl in Los Angeles
tackle the dude? I haven't watched the video, but I heard about it.
That was cool. That was cool the way that she did that. And by the way, if you look it up, the girl's attractive too. By the way, she's one.
I've seen the beat. Yeah, she's a pretty good looking girl.
typical California girls, typical California girls. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I've watched the video a couple times myself. He's running towards right field, and she trips him, and he falls head first over the stands into the seats down on the right field line. So it's kind of funny. The one that I watched, the guy goes, "Oh my God, it was the ball girl that got him."
The ball girl.
She did it. She's the one who tripped him.
Yeah. I'm gonna check it out now. And he's running, and he's running, and he's running, and he's running.
I told you.
That was dope.
I told you. It was cool. Told you. Yeah, told you.
Yeah. Luckily, he wasn't hurt.
No. I mean, actually, it would have been kind of hilarious if he had gotten hurt.
A little bit.
Stupid.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for idiots.
Yeah, being stupid like that.
You know that guy that ran onto the field at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had put the money on himself.
Right.
And everyone's like, that was genius. Yeah, they pulled his ticket the next day.
Yeah.
Because you can't bet on yourself.
Now, did he ban from the Super Bowl for life, or just?
I believe so, and he got a big fine. And I believe he got community service too.
I would give him life in prison.
Life in his own shame.
Yeah.
He should have to stand. He should have to stand outside the stadium with a sign that says, "I'm the idiot that ran on the field."
Was he a football player that got tripped by the girl?
I don't know, Lewis. That's a good question.
What was he?
Very good question. I don't know. I know, like I said, he ran across, basically started all the way in left field.
Left field,
all the way across the outfield.
Yeah.
I just try to look this up and see what I come up with.
I was going to say, I have one more thing that I could talk to you guys about MLB. These are 30 players that have a lot to prove in the final 2 months of the season. In the American League East, you have Brad Hand, right-handed pitcher for the Blue Jays. Anthony Santander, a right fielder for the Orioles. Chris Sale, who will be back this weekend.
Saturday.
John Carlos Stanton for the Yankees. Shane McClanahan and Luis Patino for the Rays. The AL Central as far as Andres Gimenez, the infielder for the Cleveland Indians. Hunter Dozier for the Royals. Willie Castro, the second baseman for the Tigers. Outfielder DH Brent Rooker for the Twins. Eloy Jimenez, the left fielder and DH for the White Sox. For the AL East, you have Joe Adell, their right fielder for the Angels. Jake Odorizzi for the Astros. Matt Chapman for the Athletics. Kyle Seager of the Mariners. Alotis Garcia, the outfielder for the Rangers. Ian Anderson, right-handed pitcher for the Braves. Jorge Alfredo, catcher for the Marlins. Michael Conforto, the outfielder for the Mets. Ian Kennedy, right-handed pitcher for the Phillies. Carter Kabam, third baseman for the Nationals. The NL Central, Christian Yelich for the Brewers. That's interesting. Paul DeLong, shortstop for the Cardinals. Ian Happ, outfielder for the Cubs, probably one of the few Cubs that are left. Mike Moustakas of the Reds. Mitch Keller for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The NL West, the Lonely Diamondbacks, center, got him thinking hockey. Catcher, outfielder Dalton Varsho for the Diamondbacks. Cody Bellinger for the Dodgers. Tony La Stella, the infielder for the Giants. Blake Snell for the Padres. And Brendan Rodgers, the second baseman for the Rockies. So I don't know if those guys are particularly having a bad season up till this point or why those names were mentioned. I don't know.
Well, the Senators were a baseball team at one time, but they moved to Texas
Yeah.
and became the Rangers in '72.
So, yeah, I'm not really sure why they're all listed. They had a big long paragraph after each of them. And we'd be here all night going over all those paragraphs that they wrote in there. That's why I just mentioned the names of the players. It's like the Patriots have a 40-yard field goal, and it looks like it's good.
Is that Quindornine making the kick?
9-7. Yeah. Are they? They must have a kicker competition, huh? Okay, they got a field goal. All right. Fair enough. They're up 9.
That's why I say you always got to take a good kicker.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute.
We can flip to college. Obviously, the talks of Oklahoma and Texas. I think we kind of got into that last week.
Yeah, we kind of beat that up a little bit last week.
Yeah.
But here are the power rankings heading into the top 25 from 247 Sports. The preseason top 25 for college football coming into this season. Again, these are all preseason rankings. This is not, this is what they're going to go off of what happened last year. Number 1 is the defending national champions, Alabama. 2 is Oklahoma. 3 is Clemson. 4 is Georgia. 5 is Ohio State. 6 is Texas A&M. 7 is Iowa State. I think that's where your quarterback plays, right? Adam? Brock Purdy? Yes. Purdy.
Iowa State, yep.
They're ranked 7th in the power rankings. They have Oregon at 8. Notre Dame at 9. North Carolina at 10. Cincinnati at 11. Now, that's an AAC team. That's interesting that they're in the top. They got the Florida Gators at 12. USC, that's the Trojans at 13. LSU at 14. Miami at 15. Wisconsin at 16. Indiana at 17. Iowa at 18. Washington at 19. Penn State at 20. Texas at 21. Coastal Carolina at 22. Louisiana at 23. Ole Miss at 24. And Arizona State at 25.
Now what was it again, Bradley?
This was the power ranking, preseason top 25 power rankings in college football. The article came from 247sports.com.
Okay, so was it from the Associated Press from that poll?
No,
the coach
I can give you the coaches poll.
I have that.
You got that. Okay, the coaches poll was up too.
But I always pay attention more to the AP poll than anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Let me give you guys 10 best win bets heading into the 2020 college football season. So let me give you those. I didn't get a chance to read these, but let me read them to you and see if you would take the bet or would you not take the bet.
Okay.
Kind of like that. Let's see here. So the first one would be Arkansas wins under 5.5 games this year. Arkansas enters. This is the SEC.
Arkansas over under 5.5.
Under 5 and correct. This year.
No.
You gonna take the under?
No. Take the under. Okay. All right.
That's kind of what I was saying. I just want to quickly glance at their schedule. Yeah, I'm gonna take the under.
Under. Okay. Boston College over under 7 wins.
Under.
Okay. Illinois over under 3.5 wins this year.
Over.
Under.
Under. Okay. They have a new head coach.
Yeah.
Miami over under 9.5 wins this year for the Miami Hurricanes.
Under.
Okay.
Over.
They'll win more than 9.5. Okay.
Yeah.
Being that I cover them on my other show, I'm going to agree with you on that. I think they have a good year. I don't know if they're going to be.
They won't beat Alabama.
Yeah, they're not going to beat Alabama the first
But
game. But after that, I think they.
After that, their schedule softens up.
Right. The NC State Wolfpack over under 6.5 wins.
Oh, let me glance at their schedule real quick.
I might say stay with that bet. I might say equal or
You're gonna go push.
Push it, yeah, because
Stay under.
Well, is it under 6?
Yeah, 6.5. Yep.
Yes. Get the Bulls.
They got USF to start the season.
Yeah.
Hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm taking the over.
Over, okay.
Yep.
Nebraska over under 6.5 wins.
Under.
Yeah, we're not talking the Tom Osborne era anymore. Under.
Under, okay. Oregon State over under 4.5 wins.
Over.
Over. They get 5.
Penn State over under 8.5 wins.
Under.
I'm gonna say over.
Over. SMU over under 6.5.
Under.
Over.
Over. Okay. Tennessee Volunteers over under 6 wins this year. Now remember, they have a new head coach in Josh.
And a new quarterback.
Under.
Even. They win 6.
Push. They win 6.
Push.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. I know they have they have a new
head coach, a new quarterback.
Go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Bob Stoops is pissed off that the SEC is taking Oklahoma and Texas and not Oklahoma State as well. Now, Stoops was the head coach at Oklahoma for a long time.
Right.
So he has the in-state rivalry with Oklahoma State, but he's upset that the SEC is only taking Oklahoma and Texas and not Oklahoma State as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I can't see Mike Gundy in the SEC. That would be story. No, again, guys, I'm not calling Mike Gundy a bad head coach, not by any means of the imagination. I'm just saying that it would be an absolute media frenzy if he was in the SEC. That's what I'm saying. The press would love that, to have him in the SEC, So
yeah.
But you never know. I mean, maybe the SEC expands more.
Again?
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't know. If that happens, if they get more teams, because I've heard some other teams, they've been courting some ACC teams too. So, and some Big Ten schools too. So, they've talked to Michigan, they talked to Ohio State, they've talked to a couple of, I think I heard they had talked. No, actually, it was the other way around. The ACC had reached out to Florida and a couple of SEC teams. Texas Tech was one of them, or Texas A&M. I mean.
Yeah, well, I think Texas A&M moved to the SEC out of the Big 12.
Yeah.
Away from Oklahoma and Texas, and now, unfortunately, in the next 4 years, they're going to have.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yep. I guess today, the Baylor Bears avoided any kind of penalty from their
serious penalty. Yeah. They lost some recruiting, had to pay some fines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I think we've talked about this too. I find it very odd that the current players or future players of a program
take
the blame for somebody
and pay the penalty. Yeah, for other people's indiscretions.
Correct.
I agree with that. Yeah.
That pisses me off that kids today, or that are in there now, or a coach who wasn't even
Right.
in that program, has to lose scholarships. So he's limited on his scholarships, what he can hand out. The school gets fined because of somebody else's stupidity. And yeah.
I don't have a problem with the school being fined for lack of institutional control.
Well,
I get that. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is having these kids who, nothing to do with it, no idea what's going on, wanted no part of it.
Right.
Being punished for other people's indiscretions from years in the past.
Yeah. Very similar to what happened with USC with Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and then they got punished for that, after they had already left the school and everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can understand punishing players who were a part of the deal, taking away their accolades, taking away their awards, taking away, vacating wins, taking, championships. I get that. That doesn't bother me. But I don't like giving some that was 4 years ago. It was so long ago that anybody that was involved, any players, especially any players that were involved, are no longer on the roster.
Right. Exactly.
And now the new players are being punished. Can't go to bowl games. They can't,
Right. They get banned from bowls. Yep.
Yeah. They lose scholarships. Somebody who's, who wasn't gonna make, who wasn't gonna be able to go to college without a scholarship is not gonna have to try and figure out how to get into college because of the bad things that other people did.
Right. Yeah.
To me, that's just not fair.
No, I agree with you. I don't find that fair either. So that pisses me off that those players have to go through the punishment when they had nothing to do with it.
Right.
They had nothing to do with it, and so. But again, we're what are we? 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from the college football season starting up.
Starts 21st.
August 28th.
20th.
Cool.
Yep. There's a handful of games.
Okay.
There are 5 games on the 20th. I was just looking at it earlier.
Okay. Yeah. So it's coming up. Okay. Good.
Green post schedule.
Here it is.
I'll be watching the USF game, or at least listening to it on the radio. I get to listen to Malkin, Jason Behringer, or one of those. Yeah. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, they've got. So on August 28th, you got 5 games: UTEP and New Mexico State, UConn and Fresno State, SUU, Southern Utah, and San Jose State, Nebraska and Illinois, Hawaii and UCLA. That's all on Saturday the 28th.
Yep.
Wednesday, September 1st, you got UAB and Jacksonville State. Yes. And then a full slate of games on Saturday, the 2nd. I'm sorry, that's Thursday. Thursday the 2nd. With the big one being Ohio State and Minnesota.
Okay.
Another full slate of games on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then the real big slate of games is Saturday. There's like 30 games on Saturday. Then a game on Sunday the 5th. And then a game on Monday the 6th.
Labor Day.
Yep.
And that's week 1.
Okay.
Yeah, week 1's always got good ones. They go all the Labor Day weekend long. That's what makes it great.
So we can now move to the Shield. Again, there are preseason games going on as we speak.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles are playing the Steelers, I think, as well.
They are.
Okay. Yeah. So now we can talk as the season is getting closer. Michael Thomas obviously could be on the move. That's what I've been hearing. Again, I don't know what the Saints are going to do in that front.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know if you. Well, that goes, we'll get into that for a real quick, hot second. It goes back to what I was thinking about in fantasy. Is that, I wouldn't draft Michael Thomas. I think that's his name. Did I say that? Is that
Correct. Thomas, yeah.
because, he's a great receiver, but he doesn't have anybody to throw him the ball.
Right.
I would, if I was sitting there with a chance to take Michael Thomas or Justin Tucker, I'd take Tucker. I know I'm going to score points with Tucker. I know Tucker's going to kick field goals and hit extra points. I'm going to take Tucker all day. You can't. I've won more games with a good kicker than I have with, and lost more games with good receivers than I have. Having a good receiver, even in a PPR league, as a points per reception, I still want I want a great kicker over a good receiver, and I will take a great kicker in a mediocre offense over a great receiver in a bad offense, because I know that for one, a field goal is 3 points, a reception is 1 point. So for my kicker to outscore your receiver, he needs to hit 3 field goals. Your receiver needs to get 9 receptions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I took Tucker a couple years ago because he just kind of happened to fall on my lap, and I was so stoked to get him. And the first week, he goes out there and gets me 15 points.
Yeah.
So, and I know you guys don't really play fantasy football.
I do not, but I do follow a lot of guys on Twitter that are fantasy guys. I'm going to try to reach out to some of those guys that come on before the season.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'd love to talk to somebody about it. But, I like, don't get me wrong, I like Michael Thomas. He's a great receiver. Yeah. But with the quarterback situation in New Orleans, I would stay away from him, and unless he gets moved. And that's why I don't really like drafting before the final week of the preseason.
Yeah.
Because if I do a draft now, and I get locked into, okay, this is the guys that I want. I got all these guys, and he gets moved to, he gets sent to, New England or San Diego, a place with a good quarterback, and and all of a sudden he's got a much better, he's going to be a much more productive threat, and I'm stuck with whoever I drafted, or I got to try and make a trade because I didn't want to draft him this week because I didn't think he was going to be very productive, and then all of a sudden he gets traded, or New Orleans picks up somebody because Joe Flacco could be available. He could be a piece that can be moved.
Yeah.
So again,
he's backing up in Philly right now.
Right. I guess there was the NFL world is reacting to Jerry Jones's statement saying that the Week 1 matchup with the Buccaneers is a David versus Goliath matchup.
Yes.
Team is the David in the equation. No offense to the Dallas Cowboy fans that listen to this show, but I hope Goliath kicks your ass. That means
a lot.
I hope Goliath stomps David into the ground. I know in the Bible David wins, but I don't think that David's going to win this matchup. I don't think that favoring David.
Before I say something offensive that I regret, I'm just going to pull that.
Again, anyway, that was something that had happened.
Honestly, I want to see the Cowboys in preseason. I want to see where they are.
I think they played them tomorrow night.
I think so. I think they played the Lions. No, we played Buffalo.
Yes.
I don't know who the Cowboys play because they didn't play. They played the Steelers. I want to see more from the Cowboys here before I make a judgment call. Right now, as it sits, going into the end of the David's not going to win. They play the Cardinals tomorrow night.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we all the NFL, I guess, is going to flag and have ejections and suspensions for taunting this season.
Yeah.
We have watched.
I have mixed feelings about that
Okay.
Because what I wanted out of the game was the excessive celebrations.
Right.
I wanted to crack down on the garbage celebrations. A guy makes a 10-yard run, picks up a first down, and a guy comes up and makes the tackle, and he's all this nonsense. Or a guy makes a 3-yard run and he's popping up and he's flexing and
Right.
that nonsense. You just get back in the damn huddle and let's play the next down, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Or a guy goes in, makes a tackle at the, makes a tackle 2 minutes in the game for a 1-yard gain, and he's jumping all around like he's done something.
Right.
I want and the excessive celebrations, the scripted, choreographed nonsense in the end zone where guys were pulling out Sharpies and cell phones and taking team pictures and pulling people out of the stands and doing cartwheels and whatever other nonsense that they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind a celebration. I don't mind a touchdown dance, spiking the ball, making going and jumping and dunking the ball over the uprights. That's cool. I'm good with all that kind of stuff. A certain level of taunting, pointing at a guy, giving him a look, jawing chippiness, it's all part of the game.
Right.
But excessive celebrations is what I hate. And I especially hate the nonsense celebrations after a play. Just a regular play. Guy makes a 5-yard run, both sides are jumping up and down like they've done something.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I hate.
But they made out with somebody. Oh.
Right? And it was apparently their sister, but that's neither here nor there.
Yuck.
So obviously we all know that the
And now you know why Birmingham doesn't have a team.
Right.
we all know that the Hall of Fame was last weekend, the induction
Right.
Hall of Fame. Obviously, everybody that went in obviously was well deserved, from Manning to Calvin Johnson to John Lynch to Troy Polamalu, all of the above, all the guys I didn't mention.
The only one that I was wondering was Edgerton James.
Edgerton James, he's the first University of Miami Hurricane running back in the Hall of Fame. I did not know that.
Wow.
Show last week. Yep. He is the.
That was the only one that I was like, I didn't realize Edge was going to the Hall.
Yeah, he's the very, very first one.
And if Edgerton James can go into the Hall, then why the hell can't Eli Manning? I don't get it. I've never understood why a guy who's had. It's the Hall of Fame. It's not the Hall of Legends. It's not the Hall of Greatness. It's the Hall of Fame. You know, it should be. It shouldn't be that exclusive.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't keep guys out who are good players. I mean, Eli Manning has two Super Bowl rings. And he's got good numbers. He did it for an incredible. He did 15 years in the league.
Yes.
Something like that.
He beat two great New England teams in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I mean, what more do you want? I mean, Peyton Manning's 2-2 in the Super Bowl, and he's in the Hall. I mean,
well, I think Eli's going to be there soon. I really honestly.
He should be. He should be. And I don't get the argument against Eli. I don't get it. I mean, what more do you want him to do? I mean, he won more games than he lost. He in clutch time and in big games, Eli was. I mean, Eli Manning was no worse than Brett Favre when it comes to being a.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did Brett Favre throw a game away in the last minute?
Yeah.
Oh, quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
Ask the Minnesota Vikings.
That's the Green Bay Packers.
They better not.
His last game in Green Bay.
Yeah.
There was a pick six, for Christ's sake.
Well,
and don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Brett Favre was the guy that got me into football. Brett Favre was my first quarterback. You know, and it was funny. The Lions weren't any good. The Lions sucked. They were so mediocre. What did your name? Was it 5 points or urinating tree.
Good old urinating tree.
I think it was urinating tree.
I'm sure it was.
I watched his NHL trade deadline video today.
I haven't watched that one.
It's a good listen. It's a good listen. So, speaking of the Hall of Fame, as Peyton Manning went in, he mentioned Tom Brady. Of course, they booed. There were a lot of people that booed Tom there. I watched Peyton's speech. I know that it was limited to 6 minutes or something along those lines. It was interesting to see what he said about his playing days and his dad and everyone else that had influenced him. So that's pretty cool. I did enjoy that. But, guys, here are the guys that will be up their very first time next year for the Hall of Fame. So tell me if these guys will get in one day or they'll make it next year. Anquan Bolden.
And makes the first ballot.
Chad Greenway, linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings from 2006 to 2016.
No.
No?
Yeah, borderline.
Andre Johnson, wide receiver.
Wide receiver out of Houston.
Yeah.
Should get in.
Yes.
Okay. Mario Williams, defensive end linebacker.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Okay. Tony Romo, quarterback for the Cowboys.
No.
Second ballot.
Think about, okay. Robert Mathis, defensive end for the Indianapolis Colts.
Second ballot as well.
Okay. Steve Smith Sr.
First ballot. All day, every day.
Yes.
DeMarcus Ware, linebacker for the
First ballot.
Broncos.
God, he was a nightmare for 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
And Vince Wilfork, defensive tackle for the Patriots.
Butt fumble, for Christ's sake. Do I need to say anything else?
No.
It's listed literally on his Wikipedia page. It has butt fumble. Don't believe me? I can pull it up.
Dumbass.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I can say that probably most of those guys, I would say 3 or 4 or 5 of them will be first ballot, but the rest will be within their next year. I wanted to see something, but it says Lions owner sends clear message about Calvin Johnson. I wanted to read this. Okay, let's see what this says. This past weekend saw Detroit legend Calvin Johnson take his rightful place in Canton, but it saw the reopening of old wounds between Megatron and the franchise.
Yeah.
Johnson reportedly remains upset with the organization for making him repay $1.6 million for retiring before the 2016 season. The Hall of Fame wideout made it clear that he wants no part of Detroit until he gets what is owed. On Sunday, Lions owner Sheila Ford Hamp addressed the controversy, with Johnson speaking with Fox 2's Jennifer Hammond. Hamp said the organization still holds Johnson in high regard and hopes to work things out with him in the future. We love Calvin. The organization loves Calvin. My family loves Calvin, and we are hoping we can work this all out with him. We think he's terrific, and we were excited for him to enter the Hall of Fame. So I heard something about that he wasn't even going to mention the Lions in his. Did he mention Detroit in his speech? Because I heard it.
I haven't listened to his. I didn't listen to his speech. I was busy last weekend. I was busy with my lady friend, so I didn't. I watched the end of it when I got back to the hotel after we'd said our goodbyes. And I didn't really pay attention because I was exhausted, so I went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a chance to watch it. I watched parts of Charles Woodson's speech. I didn't watch any of and Edge's speech was really good.
I saw Troy's
Polamalu's speech was good too.
Yeah.
Man,
in pieces.
How he didn't go in sooner? His stupid 5-year rule. I wish they would do away with that.
Yeah. Well, we need to do something about the hair.
Mm-hmm. That's what Head and Shoulders are for.
Sorry.
That's fine. Real quick, we can end with this, guys. Here are the power rankings heading into week 1 of the preseason. Again, this is
right.
Now they have the Bucs at number 1.
Okay.
Chiefs at 2, Buffalo at 3, Green Bay at 4, Baltimore at 5, the Rams at 6, the Seahawks at 7, the Browns at 8, the Niners at 9, the Steelers at 10, The Titans at
It's
11.
too high.
The Chargers at 12. The Saints at 13. The Patriots at 14. The Dolphins at 15. The Colts at 16. Vikings at 17. The Cardinals at 18. The Bears at 19. Dallas at 20. The Raiders at 21. Washington at 22. The Giants at 23. The Broncos at 24. Falcons at 25. The Eagles at 26. The Panthers at 27. The Jets at 28. The Jaguars at 29. The Bengals at 30. The Lions at 31. And the Texans at 32.
No shock there.
So those are the power rankings.
The only one I would disagree with really is the Steelers at 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the only one that jumped out at me. It's like, no, that's way too high. That's way too high. We'll come back to that next week, or 2 weeks from now, going into week 3 of the preseason. We'll revisit that because I want to see what Ben can do.
I'm a little worried about that myself.
All right.
But other than that, nothing else jumps out at me really.
Yeah.
And in terms of, I kind of think that's kind of where we all expect. I was a little bit surprised that the Bucs were 1 and Kansas City wasn't 1, but
Well, the only reason why they're 1 is because they're the defending Super Bowl champion.
Right.
And I mean, basically, it's the same Buccaneer team they had last year because everyone re-signed. So
Right.
So I mean, Kansas City though I think revamped their offensive line. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So August 17th we cut down to 85.
Yeah.
August 24th we cut down to 80. 31. August 34th, my brother's birthday, we cut down to a final roster. And then we kick off September, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And then the first week of games is on the following Sunday.
Yeah. Well,
My mom and dad's anniversary is the 24th, and then my brother was born on the 31st.
first game is Tampa Bay and Dallas on Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
But there is no 31st of September.
No.
No, there's no 31st of September because I was born on the 30th. So no, there's no 31st. There won't be a show that night either. That's on a Thursday. Oh, there's a pick. There's a pick.
Is he going to take it to the house?
No, not quite. It's good to see them though. Making some plays. That's good.
Which night won't be a show?
Won't be a show on September 30th. That's my birthday.
Are you doing a show on Friday? The first of October?
Probably not.
Yeah, usually if you don't do the Thursday show, you don't do the Friday show.
Yeah, that week probably there won't be any at all because it's my birthday and I don't know what's going on and I don't want to.
Don't get hammered.
No, I don't drink, so I'm not worried about that. I know I'm going to a concert on that Saturday, the 2nd.
Who are you seeing?
It's 98 Rock Fest in Tampa, and my favorite band is Shinedown, and they're headlining the show.
Actually, I've seen them down. Shinedown. I've seen them twice.
I love Shinedown. So
I've seen them. Have you seen them yet?
Yes, I saw them a few years ago at Rockfest. So yes, I saw them. It was them, Disturbed, and Chevelle, the three big ones.
Okay.
At Rockfest a couple years ago.
I saw them. The first time I saw them was with Adelina's Way.
Okay.
I don't remember who the next one was. Godsmack and Shinedown. There was 4 on that show. Godsmack. They stole the show. Godsmack was the best. I mean, don't get me wrong. Shinedown was awesome. It was an outdoor event. Mm-hmm. And 45?
Oh, yeah. It's a good song.
It was raining. It was pouring rain. And they played all the emotions. It was awesome.
Thank you. Okay.
And then I saw them again. Oh, was POD with them? That first, and then POD must have been. POD was the opener, and then Adelina's Way was second, and then Godsmack and Shinedown, and then I saw them again with POD, 3 Days Grace, and Shinedown. Oh my, 3 Days Grace was. Don't get me wrong, I love Shinedown, but the opening, the act before them, was even better. It was a show in Detroit. It was just outside of Detroit in Clarksville, and they had live pyro.
Nice.
It was so my buddy, he's like, we're going to see Shinedown again. I was like, okay, you bought me tickets. I'm like, yeah, I'll drive. You put gas in the car and I'll drive. And so we went up there, and we had gotten the tickets right before Adam Gontier left the 3 Days Grace. And we got them in October or November, and he left the band in December. So that would have been December of 2012. And then in February, that's right, he took me for my birthday because I turned 21 in February of 2013.
Yeah.
And that's when they brought in My Darkest Day, this lead singer from My Darkest Days, whose name I don't know offhand. And that they put on a kick-ass show.
Yeah, I got to see Shinedown and Disturbed in the same concert. I liked that concert a lot. That was cool to see.
Must have been a good show.
Must have been.
Well, the funny thing about the end of the show was they hadn't played Down with the Sickness, right? And that's their song.
Right.
That's their big song. They hadn't played that song yet, and they thought that everyone got up and left. Well, and I forget the name of the lead singer for Disturbed's, band.
Yeah, David something. David.
But he's like, oh, he goes, well, have a good night, everybody. And then then all of a sudden the stage went black, and all of a sudden then the music hit up. It's like, yeah, they're not gonna leave without playing Down.
Yeah.
With Sickness.
Right. Their signature song.
Yeah. So that they had the house rocking, and then everybody's like, yeah. He goes, the cool thing about him is when he came on at the end of the show, he said, remember all the bands that were here tonight? He goes, because they all kicked ass for you. They all entertained you. He goes, don't leave this show saying that one band was better than the other. We all were here kicking ass. We all were rocking. That was the first time I'd ever been to Amalie Arena that I got Coke, a bottle of Coke, and they took the bottle from me. I have never been to Amalie Arena where they've ever taken a bottle from me, but they took it so you couldn't throw it at people. So they took it so you could throw it at people or throw it at the stage or whatever it might be. So yeah, so that was kind of interesting. But any final thoughts, guys? We're at the end. Anybody got anything they want to say before we get off here? Anything we didn't go in touch enough, or?
I think we hit everything pretty well today. It was a good show. Good show.
Anybody want to prep shows for tomorrow?
I don't have anything scheduled this week. I might do a show Saturday if I get around to it, but I might not because there's no obligation to do that show.
Right.
I will be doing a show, of course, on Saturday. Enhanced Sports Show, Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Number to call is 512-543-4662. All are welcomed, of course. Welcome to all comments and questions. We'll cover the NFL with the Hall of Fame. What's left of the basketball free agent frenzy because of more signings that came in. We'll recap the Olympics. I want to get everybody's thoughts on the Field of Dreams game that is still going on as we speak, so I want to get a hold of that. There is some NHL talk, so I will cover that. I did find my ridiculous hire of the week thanks to you guys. I'm gonna get posted on that within today or tomorrow. Beaten by a girl. Oh dear. Wussy. Yeah, that'd be the wuss report. Oh no. So this should be a very fun, interesting show on Saturday. So if you got time, call in. You might not want to miss it.
Well, I actually have a tropical storm coming my way over the weekend, so that's going to be interesting. To see.
Right.
See how much rain and wind we get here. Again, guys, this has been the Walk Report. We are part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. Thanks to my two co-hosts for making this show kick ass every Thursday that we're here. If you guys want some In the Zone Sports Talk here, head over to squadlocker.com. Type in the Zone Sports Talk Radio to present the store for you to get some gear. We are sponsored by CreatingZenSpaces.com. In fact, like I said last week on the show, my good friend who owns the company gave us 2 more months of sponsorship, so that was cool. It's the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning organization, decluttering and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. Remember, guys, this begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. And if you missed this show or my Friday show, head over to the Sports Nerd Bradley Walker YouTube channel. Those shows will be there in their entirety. I will be here tomorrow night for the Sunshine State Sports Jabber, which is an all-border sports podcast. I will most likely have Lewis there. He's every Friday. I'm sure I will have him on there. Adam will pop in every once in a while. I will be having a heavy-hearted show, mostly about Coach Bobby Bowden. I will talk a lot about the conversations with all the coaches that he has influenced through the years. So I will definitely probably end. I usually end that show with USF, but I probably will end that show with FSU for respect for Coach Bowden and this Florida State Seminole University and stuff like that. But before I go, I want to thank all of you, all the fans, for stopping in, and whether you've been here for a second, an hour, whatever. Thank you. I want to thank our first responders, our men and women of our armed services. Thank you for your sacrifice. For all you guys do. We wouldn't be here doing this without you guys doing what you do. And again, thanks to my two co-hosts as well. Love you guys as much. I will be back again here. We'll be back next week, guys. I will be on tomorrow. But until then, everyone stay safe out there. Again, if you live in the state of Florida, be prepared. We're going to on our way to getting a tropical storm heading this way. Well, the Tampa Bay area, where I live, is going to get rain and wind either this weekend or on.
I thought y'all didn't get out of bed for anything lower than a 3.
Yeah, no, we usually don't. We don't get all worked up about that. But until then, guys,
watch out for Friday the 13th tomorrow as well.
Yes, it's Friday the 13th tomorrow. So if you are
goody
about that, the funny thing about that whole day is my mom was born on October 13th, and that was her favorite number. So I don't. The 13 number.
Sorry, it's the 14th. That's even worse.
Yeah. Well, actually, here's the thing: when you go to a hotel, they tell you that you never stay on 413. Yes, you do, because 414 is 413. They just lie and don't give you the key, but that's actually what it is.
Right.
Don't let anyone ever tell you that's wrong. But
right.
Until then, guys, I will clock out. This has been the Sports Nerd. Peace, guys.
Good night. Friday the 14th.